Good evening and welcome to Speedway High School and to the Class of 2026 Top 10 ceremony. My name is JP Claiborne. I serve as the principal at Speedway High School. Before we begin, I would like to thank the Speedway Lions Club for annually hosting this event and for the team from Aramark and the high school cafeteria for preparing the meal. If they make their way out here, we'll thank them in just a little bit. I would like to welcome and thank the members of the Speedway School Board. Please rise when I call your name. Mr. Luke Bickle, Ms. Laura DeGay, Mr. Adam Gonzalez, Mr. William Harding, and Mr. Tom Smith. Thank you. We truly appreciate the guidance and support you provide to our school district. I would also like to thank our school superintendent, Dr. Kyle Trebley, the Assistant Superintendent, Mr. John Disney, and Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Lance Schnaus. From the high school, thank you to Counselor Chuck Bennett, and a special thank you to Counselor Misty Davenport for organizing this event. Thank you also to the Director of Student Services, Trenton Borum, and Assistant Principal, Gary Carter. We welcome our distinguished educators, honored guests, families, and most importantly, our exceptional students. Tonight we gather not merely to celebrate achievement, but to illuminate the relationships that make such achievement possible. The accomplishments of these top 10 students reflect discipline, intellect, and perseverance, but also the enduring influence of teachers who have guided, challenged, and believed in them. As William Butler Yeats once observed, education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. This evening, we witness the embodiment of that fire, kindled in the classroom, sustained through mentorship, and carried forward by students who now pause to honor those who inspired their curiosity. What makes this ceremony especially meaningful is its reversal of roles. Here, those who are recognized become those who give recognition. In doing so, these students remind us that excellence is never a solitary pursuit. It is cultivated in dialogue, in encouragement, and in the steadfast presence of teachers who see the spark of potential long before it fully reveals itself. Let us begin this evening with gratitude for the educators who shape minds and character alike, for the students who carry that torch of legacy forward with distinction. Ari, if you would please come forward for our invocation.
Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather here today to celebrate these years of hard work, dedication, and countless achievements, let us take a moment to reflect upon the journey that has brought us to this remarkable milestone. Allow us to open our hearts and minds to a spirit of gratitude, wisdom, and inspiration. Tonight, we celebrate of our accomplishments and the bright futures that lie ahead. Let us remember the values instilled within us during our time at Speedway High School. May we approach each new challenge with courage, kindness, and integrity. Let us embrace the diversity of our world and strive to build bridges of hope and hard work to the future. We give thanks for all of those faculty members who embraced and guided us through our journey, and we especially thank our families for the unwavering support they have given us throughout our journey. As we move forward into the next chapter of our lives, we ask for continued guidance and strength from you and our families. Together, let us forge a future that is bright, compassionate, and filled with the love and support that we have experienced throughout our journey at Speedway High School. In your name we pray, amen.
Thank you, Aria. Great job. All right, at this point, we'll begin our program. We will first ask Paige Hooper to come forward. Paige will attend Purdue University, where she will study nursing, and she is recognizing Speedway High School social studies teacher, Scott Morrow.
The lessons that last far beyond the classroom. Throughout my time at Speedway High School, I have been beyond blessed to have had so many amazing teachers who truly care not only about the subjects they teach, but also about their students as individuals. Many teachers will help you pass a class, but very few may help shape the way you think and live. Mr. Morrow's influence extends far beyond the classroom. I am beyond grateful to honor him as my most influential educator tonight. I had Mr. Morrow during my junior year for AP Psychology as well as AP Microeconomics and Macroeconomics. From the very first day of class, I could immediately tell that Mr. Morrow was a lighthearted person who not only cared about his students fully understanding his course material, he also cared about their personal lives outside of school. He could consistently be seen asking students random questions about themselves and their families, showing a deep interest in who his students were as people. It was evident Mr. Morrow's passion and love for teaching extended far beyond grades and test scores. His classroom was a place where students knew they were welcomed and could be themselves. Although economics can be very challenging, Mr. Morrow always found a way to make it more engaging, interactive, and sometimes even enjoyable. He explained difficult topics in ways that students could relate to and truly understand. Although I can't say the same for econ, AP Psychology was one of my favorite classes. I have always been fascinated by the power of the human mind, and Mr. Morrow's class only deepened my interest. Even after completing the course, psychology continues to intrigue me due to the foundation that Mr. Morrow's class provided. What I admire most about Mr. Morrow is his sense of humor and the ability not to take everything so seriously. His authenticity makes the complex material in his classes more approachable, and it helped his students feel more comfortable asking questions without the fear of being wrong. Students felt comfortable learning in this environment and were content with making mistakes and learning from them. Learning new topics in Mr. Morrow's class was never intimidating. When I would go to Mr. Morrow's class at the end of the day, I always knew class was a place for curiosity and free of judgment. Beyond academics, Mr. Morrow also taught me very important lessons that I would take with me throughout my life. He put emphasis on trying new experiences and simply being a kid. In a world that often feels rushed and heavily focused on achievements, he reminded students of the importance of enjoying the journey. He also taught me the important lesson to not put so much pressure on oneself to be perfect. Mistakes are simply a learning opportunity. Mr. Morrow taught me the balance between high expectations with rest and care. He encouraged us to always try our best and do our best work, but he also taught us that it's normal to not understand something and that it's okay to fail. This message allowed me to approach education more confidently, knowing that the end goal doesn't have to be perfection or mastery. Simply trying holds value. Mr. Morrow, thank you for truly believing in your students, for making learning more enjoyable. Thank you for teaching me that education isn't simply about grades, it's about growth. I will always remember your encouragement and your welcoming environment. Your impact on my life will stick with me far beyond high school, and for that, I am truly grateful.
Got a little cheat sheet here so I don't forget things. So, first of all, Paige, those words were excellent, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Honestly, this is an honor. This is an honor, especially we work in a profession where we're not really honored all that much. And this is something that is just truly, truly impactful. Also, Paige, I know you spent your whole entire career here in Speedway, and it's such an honor. I mean, you could have selected any one of your elementary teachers to your junior high teachers, but it's just a blessing that you actually selected me today, and I really appreciate that. I could sit up here and talk about everything that you've done academically, what you deserve, and you have done, but it's the things that I will remember about you is going to be, gosh, I remember walking into class the first day, and I remember telling you, I've had your brother. And I remember Owen yelling at me in Fort Myers in the middle of the beach as you came out of a restaurant, you and your friends, telling me, you know, hey, econ curves, right, in the middle of Florida. But I remember coming in to Paige and looking you in the eye and saying, I know you're not your brother. And I know, and I will treat you as your own individual person, and that is who you are. You're unique, you're blessed, you are no doubt in my mind going to be successful in this life, and I really appreciate, again, the selection. And as much as it pains me to say this, go Boilers.
All right, our next student is Abigail Fritz. She will be attending Indiana University to study nursing. And her teacher is Matt Taylor, who teaches English here at the high school.
Guidance. Starting 11th grade, I hated English class. My English skills have always lagged behind my math skills, and I thought it was going to stay that way until I had Mr. Taylor's class. He made English feel more tolerable with his dad jokes, which he always had ready, and provided a light environment in which I felt more comfortable experimenting with my English skills. He is one of those teachers who you can feel comfortable messing up in class with because you know he'll be able to help you. He had us write often with critical feedback that was somehow still kind and gentle. I thought it was really effective, and I began not to mind when he would have us write so many essays during class. Mr. Taylor provides a very welcoming atmosphere in his classroom that makes students feel comfortable. He makes a conscious effort to talk to each and every one of his students every day, whether that means a simple hello, how's your day been, or a debate in the classroom. He would congratulate students on sports wins and never hesitated to ask thoughtful questions. Mr. Taylor is a very personable guy who's easy to talk to and a great teacher who helped me a lot with my essay writing when I definitely needed it. Starting 11th grade, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't have a clue who I wanted to become or what job I was supposed to aspire to have. I felt lost and pressured into feeling like I should know these things at just 16 years old. Mr. Taylor helped point me in the right direction. As a part of his class, he has the students choose a book and has them read about half of it, most of them being books to help you learn skills such as personal finance, contentment, and stoicism. I chose to read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which I was curious about, but I thought it was going to be boring, and I didn't expect too much from it. But I ended up taking a surprisingly great interest in the book, and I felt like I was learning more about myself as well as learning about what I was reading. Most of the topics in the book were just courtesies that felt like common sense, but are way harder in practice. For example, the book places a heavy emphasis on active listening and not talking too much about yourself, which sounds easy, but we all know what our favorite subject is. I ended up reading the whole book, and I found myself trying to follow the book's advice. I also found myself to be happier when I followed it. Mr. Taylor's guidance to read self-help books pushed me in the right direction to see who I would want to become, without just the end product. He helped in providing instructions on how to get where I wanted to be. One day, Mr. Taylor told me he thought I would be a good nurse. He complimented my bubbly personality and said it would fit the job, and that really stuck with me. I hadn't really thought about healthcare as a career field, but as Mr. Taylor encouraged me, I really considered it, and now that's the field I would like to pursue. I plan to major in either nursing or pre-physician assistant at IU Bloomington or Purdue. And I can't imagine where I'd be headed if he hadn't said that to me. Mr. Taylor's guidance, not only as a teacher, but as a person, helped me to become who I am today. Thank you so much, Mr. Taylor.
Abby stole my story. I was going to talk about that story up here. So it's great that we have the same memory together. Abby's just, I mean, she's really great. She's really impressive. I was really excited when she picked me. It really meant a lot to me. And it's that story she told about that book, I think, really highlights kind of her intellectual curiosity, because at the end of that, a lot of students just give me their book back, and she asked to continue to read it. And if anybody hasn't read that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, it talks a lot about how to win friends and influence people, about taking an interest in people's lives, asking about them, saying their name, complimenting them, not disagreeing with them, not arguing with them. And I remember, one time in the hall, I was talking to Abby about it. I was like, so, what do you think about this book? And she said, I've been using it. I've been trying it. And she said that she was I don't know if she said she was depressed, sad. And I go, well, what's the problem? And she goes, well, the more I do this, I'm sitting here, I'm talking, I'm listening to people, I'm asking them about themselves, but nobody ever does it to me. And I said, that's kind of the problem. You realize that a lot of times people don't do that, but I said, that's why it makes it so important. That's why it's so special to take the time and ask people how they're doing and take an interest in their lives and compliment people. And I said I had the same feeling. And a couple months later, after a successful hunting season, I brought in some deer jerky for the students. And again, Abby just seemed to be really interested in it, and a lot of kids are kind of skittish about that, but she took an interest, and she started asking me about it. She started saying, how do you make it, or what do you do with it? And she started talking about the health benefits of this deer that I'd harvested, and so I decided to bring some in for her. I think I brought in a couple things of them, like some hamburger meat and some steaks, and she would take it home and tell me about all the recipes she made, and one day she brought it in and she just talked about how she marinated it and cooked it, and it was better than anything I had ever made. I was just really impressed, and I think that really says a lot about Abby. I think she's very impressive. She's intellectually curious. She really does. I think that's why I suggested that she pursue nursing because she really does seem to care about other people. And for a young student, I think to take a book and to read it and learn from it and apply it and reflect and talk about it, I think that's pretty rare for anybody, let alone a 16 or 17-year-old student. So it just meant the world to me that she picked me, and I just feel so fortunate that I was able to have such a kind of impressive, interesting, intellectually curious student in my class. So thank you, Abby. It really means a lot to me. So.
Thank you both. Next up, we have Aria Graves, who will be attending the University of Indianapolis, also to study nursing. And her teacher is Mrs. Eileen Tepp, who teaches math here at Speedway High School.
Confidence and commitment. Unfortunately, I will not be returning next school year. I'm unsure of what the future holds for the music program, but I'm sure everything will be all right. In short, that was what I heard on one of the last few days of my junior year of high school. My first and honestly only thought at the time was, no, everything will not be all right. Just before I had learned that information, I had also discovered that I was one of the 2 drum majors chosen to lead the band for the following year. I was not only scared for the future of the music program, but also how much things would change. Needless to say, a wealth of emotions overtook me. Sometimes in life, a wrong note gets played, and from that, the music gets rewritten. Thankfully, Miss Tepp stepped in and made my senior year of band memorable and fun. On paper, Miss Tepp, an Algebra 2 teacher, just didn't add up to be a band director. Not only did she tackle the daunting task of putting herself in a leadership position that she had never been trained for, she excelled beyond everyone's expectations. This past summer, she ran the marching band program at SHS with confidence and provided students the opportunity to do all of our normal tasks, like going to competitions and even hosting band camps. She never once faltered in front of us, showing true commitment and handling every situation with confidence. Without Miss Tepp, music this past summer never would have happened. Miss Tepp's leadership inspired me to put myself in uncomfortable positions, even if the future was unclear. So far this year, I've done things like taking initiative on group projects, speaking at my National Honor Society induction, joining the Academic Bowl, and even going as far as being the school mascot at a pep rally, which I highly, highly do not recommend that one. It was like 1,000,001 degrees in that thing. Anyway, that's not the point. But in all seriousness, Miss Tepp putting herself in the compromising position of leader and her not being afraid to fail in front of her peers showed me that I shouldn't be afraid either. Ultimately, she showed me that it's through commitment and confidence that leadership follows. I know that in the future, when I'm working in the medical field, whatever I decide to do inside of it, I will use the same attributes as Miss Tepp: confidence and commitment. I know that these leadership qualities learned from Miss Tepp are high notes that will lead me to being a true leader and a good person. And finally, the confidence and true commitment that I have learned from Miss Tepp will help me march along in the parade of life.
Okay, you officially made me cry this time with it. I had no idea why she chose me the very first time when she told me, because she did tell me beforehand. I'm like, why? Why me? I just teach math. I don't make a difference pretty much in anyone's life. And she told me kind of what she was going to talk about, but what she does not know is how much she influences the teachers. You are the happy spark that comes through at all times. You make the best out of any situation, and you made it easy for me to lead. And yes, you make a cute little mascot. And if you've never seen her in the other part of it that fits her perfectly is that she was also, as a drum major, dressed as the White Rabbit from our Alice in Wonderland theme, and went outside of her box and led and jumped around the field and did all sorts of fun little things that you've never been in a play or done any of that acting in your life, and you did a great job. And what you don't know is that I saw that potential back when you were a freshman, because you said, why me, when I said, hey, you're doubling up in math this year. And you said, no, I can't. I said, yes, you can. And you did it. And you did a great job, and you helped other people. And I think you've realized as you're doing things how truly special and unbelievable that you are, and how far you will go in life. I'm really going to miss you next year, girl. And I'm glad you're not going far. So, thank you.
Our next student is Anthony Lopez Gomez, who will be attending Purdue University to study electrical engineering. And he is honoring Mr. Adam Hurston, who teaches science.
Crystalline dreams. In my 3 years knowing Mr. Hurston, be it as a student in his AP biology class, his AP physics class, or as his TA, helping when I feel like sometimes, I can confidently say that I've never had a teacher who changed the way I thought of my future. I discovered not only my uncovered fascination I had for science, but also just how much I love it. From Mr. Hurston's classes, I learned not only about our natural world, but also about the laws that are the reason we are the way we are, that govern us. His AP physics class, for one, was the first class out of any that I vividly remember that challenged my brain on a level, on a creative point that I can't begin to describe. It made me also dream about what it is I want to do for my future, because before this point I was lost, I didn't know what to do. His classes and Mr. Hurston himself encouraged me and led me to believe that I could do so much more in this world than I originally thought I could. Because I know that without effort, I'll be forgotten in time, because that's how it happens. You pass on and you're forgotten in the books. But I want to defy that, because as humans, we've always defined ourselves by the ability to overcome the impossible. And Mr. Hurston made me realize this. Because I know that the world is of how it is right now and how it has been is fast, full of frenzy, it's chaotic, it's hard to keep up at times. But I don't want to let apathy and sloth and stuff such as that snuff out the light that I feel I have in my heart. So I want not only to pursue engineering, but I want to pursue genetics, chemistry, and all other sciences, just because it kindles the fire I feel like I have in my heart. But if there's one thing I can say that I'll always remember from now to when I eventually pass, is probably during my junior year, when we had watched Interstellar throughout the year. I feel like it changed my course of my life for the better at that point, because it tackled science in such an accurate and interesting way. It had me hooked. I couldn't help but be interested by how it was, and it just wanted me to tackle science more. But regardless, Mr. Hurston, I just want to say thank you truly for everything you've introduced and done for me in my life that I didn't even know I wanted to do. So don't let any naysayers say that you're not a good person, because you are. You're a great teacher and an even greater person. And I'll give back to you someday. I'm sure of it.
Thank you, Anthony. This is a cheat sheet too, but it's more for me like holding it together, because I'm a crier, and I'm not gonna get invited again if like 4 years ago I cried, and I took too long, so I'm gonna get invited back. I swear, Mr. Claiborne, Mr. Carr, I don't watch movies all the time. Interstellar is awesome. It's our brain break. He mentioned how hard AP Physics was for his brain. It's creative math. It's hard for my brain. So occasionally, 10 minutes here and there, we like to watch it, right? And it is an incredibly moving movie. Like, it's really awesome. So I'm glad that stuck with you. Rewatch it. It needs to be rewatched at least once. You already did. All right, good. I got to teach Anthony when he came to Speedway sophomore year in AP. Well, he came before that, but AP Bio. I didn't have him first year. Taught him again AP Physics as a junior. Now he's my TA. He said when he feels like doing work, but you do work every time I ask you, Anthony. But sometimes I'm pretty sure he's back there maybe sleeping on the couch in my storage room, which is fine. But he does a lot of dishes. He sets up labs. He does a lot of work for me too. So, and always with the smile. Anthony has the best smile in the whole school. He's always smiling, and oh man, it's infectious. And I wish I smiled more like you. So that's something I strive to do better, is you're always coming into my classroom with a smile. So keep that up, please. Anthony has always been a willing leader in my class too. He gets along with everyone. He's open to the challenge of all the hard classes here at the school. And people look to him, at least I've seen that in the 3 years I've known you. Even if you're not necessarily like buddy-buddy with them, people are always looking at you, and you like take the lead and you figure out the problems. In AP Physics, I just throw problems at them. I give them equipment, and I tell them to figure it out, like set it up. And Anthony thought of stuff last year with the experimental designs he did that I still use this year. Like, hey, somebody last year did it this way. Maybe you should. It was you. Like, you last year did it that way. So engineering is perfect for you. I'm glad you're getting into it. He's an amazing human being. You guys could hear it in his speech. He cares about everybody. He cares about our world. I hope that my 8-year-old son over there, I hope he wants to get into engineering too. So I want him to see what he should strive to be in you. All right, you work so hard, you care about everybody, and you care about the world. So, dang it! All right, so I hope that Shep, I want you to have a friend like that one day. I want you to become like that one day. Like, this is the kid you want to strive to be. All right. So I'm just really hopeful that for his future, for my future, because kids like Anthony and everybody in this room, they're going to be making decisions, and they're going to be designing things that are going to help make our world better, and that makes me hopeful. I get to see that hope. Like, lots of people don't get to see that hope, but as us teachers, we get to see that hope. These kids are awesome, and Anthony's top of the line. I'm super excited for you. I know you're going to love learning at Purdue. Don't root for the sports too hard for me, all right? But the school's awesome, and I know you're going to excel. Thank you for inviting me to Top 10. Thanks.
Our next student is Jessica Mota. She will be attending Ball State University to study architecture, and her teacher is Miss Whitney Baker, who teaches social studies here at the high school.
From the classroom to the tennis courts, when I was asked to pick a most influential educator, I had no trouble deciding on Ms. Baker. That's not to say Speedway isn't full of great educators, because it's quite the opposite. But Ms. Baker etched a pivotal mark on my life as a student, athlete, and person. She was not only my world history teacher as a freshman, she was also my tennis coach for 3 seasons. Ms. Baker comes to school every day with a smile on her face and goes above and beyond for her students. World history was the first AP class I ever took, and it sparked a desire to challenge myself when it comes to academics. I can confidently say Ms. Baker is a major reason for the success I had in my other AP classes I took later on in high school. Ms. Baker made it exciting and engaging to learn difficult material. Although some days were more challenging than others, my interest for her class only intensified as the year moved on. I have vivid memories of times when Ms. Baker would be teaching lessons and it would almost look like a theatrical performance. I know she continues to teach with that same passion, and it's easy to see how much she loves her job. It's because of teachers like her that students like me comfortably develop a love for learning. I know I wasn't the most talkative or outgoing student in her class, but I truly enjoyed every moment I spent in there. However, I enjoyed being part of her tennis team even more. As a freshman, I didn't really consider joining any sports, but tennis became an option because of Ms. Baker's openness and acceptance of newcomers. I found it very scary and intimidating to try something I had never done before. However, Ms. Baker quickly made all that fear disappear. Her encouraging and welcoming attitude made it easy for me to develop a love and appreciation for tennis. One of the most memorable moments for me was last season when we traveled to an away match that ended up getting rained out. We had to wait for almost 2 hours for the rain to hopefully stop, and at the end we didn't even get to play. In that moment, many of the girls, including myself, were a little annoyed at having to wait for nothing. But Ms. Baker was able to keep our attitudes up. She validated our feelings of frustration while helping us stay as positive as possible. Even in a situation like that where her time was also wasted, she didn't let any negative emotions show, and she kept being the coach we all needed. It is small things like that which demonstrate Ms. Baker's character beyond a teacher and coach. Ms. Baker has taught me to carry a sense of motivation, confidence within myself throughout all aspects of my life. I will forever be grateful that I had the opportunity to learn from someone as inspiring and dedicated as her. I want Ms. Baker to know that I will always carry a deep appreciation and admiration for her. I cherish many memories in school and on the tennis courts because of her. I know when graduation day rolls around, I will be able to look around at my peers and recognize we will go on to do amazing things in life. That is possible because of exceptional educators like Ms. Baker and honestly all staff at Speedway schools.
Mr. Hurston, I'm gonna make it a lot worse. I was crying already. This is a little more emotional for me because last year I chose to step away from being the tennis coach. And so I don't get to watch her this senior season. And I just have learned to love her significantly she's part of a great group of seniors on the tennis courts. And from the moment she was a student of mine as a freshman, in my classroom and on the tennis courts, she was kind of my go-to that could help me with everything that I needed. I needed a translator to help tell students how to play tennis in Spanish, and I would ask her to translate, and I loved being able to call on her and just really rely on her because she's so trustworthy and such a great representative of a student leader here at the high school. And it's a blessing to watch her play tennis and also know that her senior year is going to be a little different. I'm not going to be there, but that's okay. I need to be with my family. But I'm just so thankful for the opportunity to be here to honor her and celebrate her. And I'm just so thankful that you were in my class all those years ago and that you tried out tennis because I've just watched you love this sport and grow as a student. So I'm very thankful to be able to be here and celebrate you. So, Mr. Hurston. There you go.
Our next student is Elizabeth Mantilla, who plans to attend Purdue University to study English with a focus on creative writing, and she is honoring Mr. David Todd, who is a social studies teacher here at the high school.
As I just told my family, I am also a crier, so excuse me if you see a few tears. You didn't. I have named this speech in the wise words of Todd, which I feel appropriately describe how I feel about my chosen educator. A question has been floating around in my mind for the last year, ever since I had the honor to be a photographer for the previous Top 10 ceremony, where I, yes, did cry listening to speeches that had nothing to do with me. The question was which educator I would pick when our ceremony today eventually came around. It was something that had been bugging me for many months since last March, But I knew in January, once the question was asked, there really was only one choice. One of my core beliefs about school is that getting to know your teachers is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. That made this choice extremely difficult for me. The difference is that I'm in a class now that I wasn't in when I first watched the previous seniors give their speeches. I've known Mr. Todd all 4 years that I've been at SHS, as I'm a member of the outdoor club. Despite my sneaking suspicion that he didn't really know who I was until last year, he was always a teacher I couldn't wait to have in for AP Government. His outgoing nature was something I looked up to as a freshman, still trying to find my place in the Speedway community. These last 4 years, a hike hasn't gone by without many laughs and conversations about whatever topic came up as we picked up trash and hiked at least 3 miles. The outdoor club has always been a place where I felt welcome, and I know that wouldn't be possible without Mr. Todd. So this year, when I finally had the opportunity to take AP Gov, I was ecstatic. Now that I'm nearing the end of my senior year, it's not the class itself that stuck out to me, despite my love of the material. Anyone who knew me in APUSH knows I read that entire textbook. I do happen to love history. It was the way that Mr. Todd as a teacher has impacted me. I've had teachers give praise before about certain skills, usually relating to that class, but never has something a teacher told me stuck out as much as what Mr. Todd has. I'll never forget only a few months ago, while having an end-of-the-day conversation relating to some survey I needed the seniors to complete for yearbook, when he randomly stopped and smiled. He shared his belief that I would make a great leader one day, and that I had the qualities to be as successful as I wanted. That the way I handled myself and talked was going to shine through when I became an adult. It stopped me in my tracks, because my success has always been something I've worried about. Like most teenagers, I struggle to see myself accomplishing the things I'm not even sure I want. So to hear it come unprompted from someone whom I respect greatly made me feel uplifted in a way I haven't before. It's one thing to be told how well you've written an essay, but it's another to be told about your character. No hate to you, Mr. Taylor. I still appreciate your praise on all of my essays. This conversation sticks out to me the most, but it isn't the only one like this. On many occasions, Mr. Todd has shared his thoughts on many of my traits, as well as how they'll help me one day. He reignited something in me that I had given up on years ago because I hadn't believed I was good enough. It's majorly because of Mr. Todd that I've regained the confidence to enter the law field, and his advice and compliments have allowed me to want this for myself again. I was always impatient when it came to being an AP Gov, but I now know that not having him until my senior year was the best thing for me. If not for his love of the environment, his passion for teaching, his jokes, the lessons we learned from him, then Mr. Todd is my chosen educator because of the way he uplifts his students. Everyone, teenager or not, deserves to have someone be there to remind them of the things about themselves they've forgotten. Everyone deserves a person like Mr. Todd in their lives. I took a lot of words to state this message, but as my family has told me, I'm great at making a short story long. Something Mr. Todd has taken in stride during our various hikes. It is worth noting that last year, he started our Crown Hill Cemetery hike without me, and I stood lost for 20 minutes before, thankfully, Mr. Hurston came to my rescue. It's my only gripe in a very long list of positives. No hard feelings, Mr. Todd. Thank you for guiding me forward through your words that have more impact than you know.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That's very nice. She may have been lost at Crown Hill for a little while. I think I found her at President Harrison's gravesite, and we got a selfie. So Elizabeth does have a great passion for literature and for history. There's no doubt about that. You come in with just some very detailed knowledge that you don't even need to be taught necessarily. So you have a brilliant mind, you come from a beautiful family, and thank you for picking me today. That's all I got. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Our next student is Sebastian Francisco, who will be attending Purdue University, majoring in mechanical engineering with a minor in computer engineering. He's chosen Miss Emily Mulpuri as his teacher. She teaches engineering project lead the way here at the high school.
Why, Miss Mulpuri is the GOAT. I have loved building things since I was a child, a passion that continues to grow as I grow. Miss Mulpuri has played a vital role in expanding my knowledge of engineering. Since the first day of my freshman year, I have loved my engineering class. Even though I wasn't well acquainted with Miss Mulpuri yet, I loved what we were doing in class. We were creating 3D models of shapes using a software called Fusion 360. As Miss Mulpuri know, and my fellow engineering classmates as well, Fusion 360 can be a pain. But we patiently worked through it, and Miss Mulpuri was understanding enough to extend the due dates of our assignments if we didn't finish them on time due to technical difficulties. As years went by, I enjoyed working with Miss Mulpuri more and more while tackling the projects she assigned. I really like all the projects, especially designing that water filter in my third year of engineering, because I felt like it captured the essence of engineering, the designing, building, and testing of a product made from scratch. Miss Mulpuri has been instrumental in igniting my passion for engineering and keeping it ignited all throughout my high school career. Not only that, Ms. Mulpuri has exposed me to the world of environmental sustainability and how engineering intertwines with it. I would have never discovered I like the idea of environmental engineering if it weren't for her. Finally, I would like to recognize Ms. Mulpuri's patience, not only with me, but with my classmates. Since we often did some pretty silly stuff. So, Ms. Mulpuri, I thank you for all that you have done for your students and what you're going to do for them in the future. Thank you.
In my engineering class, I have a wide range of abilities, skills, and willingness to actually be there. But one thing that united all the students was that nobody was coming in with any drafting, let alone computer-aided drafting skills. That's until Sebastian, on his first day of class, informed me cheerfully that he had spent all summer doing Fusion 360 and he knew exactly what he was doing. To say that I was worried about being able to challenge this bright young man is an understatement. But I shouldn't have been, because he took it upon himself to go above and beyond every day. He took it upon himself to help his peers. He became a skilled troubleshooter for all of the mess that some of my students created just making cubes. So he became the go-to person. Everybody knew that if I couldn't get to them, Sebastian would absolutely help him. Every group that Sebastian joined instantly became the most functioning group in the room. On each of the projects, and the water filter is definitely one of them, good enough wasn't good enough for Sebastian. He wanted everything to work, he wanted it to make sense, and he wanted a final product that met the criteria to a T in creative and interesting ways. His attention to detail, his ability to troubleshoot beyond any other student that I've had and be willing to explain that to students that were struggling is going to make him a fantastic engineer and team member for any team that he joins. I am truly grateful that I got to be a small part of your engineering journey. Thank you.
Our next student is Cameron Lowe. She'll be attending Purdue University to study finance, and she will be recognizing Mrs. Christine Aguiar, who teaches Spanish.
Growing and learning. Going into high school, I never expected anyone to be able to take the place of Mrs. Kors, my third grade teacher from Newby Elementary, but Miss Aguiar had done just that. Mrs. Aguiar has been the most influential teacher in my life, ranging from me and her Spanish classes to just how she is as a person. She's always willing to lend a listening ear to any student that needs it, and is always trying to help in any way she can. While I had grown to love her teaching during my Spanish 4 class last year, I know I had always liked just being able to talk to her. I remember my freshman year when my friends and I would go to her class on Wednesdays after book club and just talk to her until one of us had to leave. After school on one of those days, we debated who she would pick as her teacher's assistant. Everyone said themselves, but I vowed that it would be me. Fast forward a year to now, when we created our senior year schedules and I asked to be her TA, and she actually agreed. Mrs. Aguiar watched me grow academically from my freshman year, where I was ranked 11th place, to my senior year being ranked 3rd. I've seen her try many different teaching styles with many different students, all of which I appreciated when she was my actual teacher. In addition to my academic progress, she's seen me grow as a person, especially during my time spent with her in Sage Club, specifically for my leadership during our yearly Candy Run fundraiser. While our time is short with just 2 months remaining in the year until graduation, I've appreciated every single moment I've got with her, even with some of the grades she would give me during my Spanish 4 class. I know I will continue to hold the appreciation I have for her with me for the rest of my life, and hopefully keep contact with her well into my young adult and adult years.
Okay, Cammie. I thought so much ever since I got an email with congratulations, Cameron Lowe has selected you. I was like, what do I say about Cammie? I mean, how do you tell somebody that you love them without being creepy and weird about it in front of a room full of people? I've had 4 years with you, and I've loved every single moment of that. Thank you so much for all of the vitality and the tenacity that you bring into the room every single day. Just from watching you as your little spunky freshman self grow and just really settle down into this mature, wise young lady who you are today. It is a pleasure and an honor to know you, to have been there to witness that growth, and then, like so many other teachers have commented on, just to know the wonderful impact that you are going to have on the world. Just to watch you and your decisiveness and your confidence and how you have so many great ideas, and you're such a wonderful problem solver, and you're focused on finding those solutions. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of this wonderful stepping stone of a high school career that you have completely excelled at. And I just know that you are going to do great things. And when you become that wonderful finance and businesswoman that I know that you're going to be, you will remember us here at Speedway for that tax write-off donation that you know you want to give. So thank you. Thank you so much. It is an honor. Thank you for your kind and generous words. And you're going to do great things. So way to go.
Our next student is Madeline Cloyd, who will be attending Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology to study mathematics. And the teacher she is honoring is Miss Kylie Modisett, who teaches fine arts.
Inspiring art. I first met Mrs. Modisett my freshman year in drawing and painting class, and I've continued to be in her classroom every day throughout high school. What started as just a drawing class grew into something much more impactful every single year. As a student, I took both drawing and painting as well as ceramics. I've had several pieces entered into the art show, which she puts so much love and care into every year. I've participated in art club every year of high school, and I've grown as an artist with each and every class I've had with her. And while her impact on me through art has been tremendous, I don't normally think of art when I think of Speedway's art teacher. I think of the supportive voice and constant motivator Mrs. Modisett has been for me these last 4 years, and of all the support she's given me this year when applying to college. Throughout my entire senior year, Mrs. Modisett has been one of my biggest cheerleaders when it comes to college and my future. From pushing me to apply for scholarships to being there when I learned I actually won one, which I still can't believe she didn't tell me when she first heard about it, she's been there for me every step of the way. On the day of my scholarship interview, Mrs. Modisett knew something important was going on without even having to ask. And when I explained how nervous I was, she didn't hesitate to tell me how deserving I was and that I was crazy for being so nervous. I even have Mrs. Modisett to thank for my job that I've had nearly all of high school. I'm not sure if she even remembers, but she was the one to email a flyer about Artist Wanted to me and a couple of other art students my freshman year. I'm pretty sure I was the only one who actually applied, but I love that job and I would never have called myself a face painter if it hadn't been for her. I'm not the only one who recognizes what an extreme impact Miss Modisett has had on my education and me as a person. I still remember my mom texting me every Meet the Teacher night how much she loved Mrs. Modisett and that I needed to bring in plastic bags tomorrow because why wouldn't I? As well as the excitement we both had for her when we learned she was expecting her second baby. It's crazy to think of what my high school career would have looked like if I hadn't taken art my freshman year, how that small decision made in 8th grade led me here, giving a speech about how my life truly has changed because of one teacher. Mrs. Modisett, I want to thank you for everything you've done for me these last 4 years, for your constant support even on the days when I'm so caught up in college stress that I don't say anything the entire class period, for complimenting all those art projects, good or bad, for pushing me to be a better person, face painter, scholar. Thank you for just being there. You've changed my life for the better, and I'll know you'll do the same for so many other students in the future. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to say I am so honored to be chosen by Madeline. I've had the pleasure of having her in class for her entire high school experience, from her freshman year when she started in my drawing and painting class, like she had mentioned. I was very impressed with her from the very beginning. In fact, I even had already started scouting her out as my TA from her freshman year. She is, you're an interesting figure 8 because she's very right-brained in the creative side, but she's also very left as logic. As you can see, she's going to school for math. So you're very well-rounded, and I so appreciate that about you. I've had the pleasure of getting to know her, whether she was in my class or my teacher's assistant, which she's been for the last 2 years, and I've been so thankful and grateful for. We've gotten to know each other extremely well as family. We feel like family, whether it's coming and doing face painting at my son's birthday party, or at celebrating the Eli Lilly scholarship, which I could not call Mom about because I still had her in class that day. I know we spoke and you weren't happy with me for talking to you, but I just couldn't keep it together, and I had to keep it together for Maddie so she could have the best surprise possible. And I just am so thankful and honored and grateful to have been chosen by you. You are going to do great things, and I can't wait for your story to unfold and to continue to get to know each other more. So thank you.
And our final student for tonight is Stephanie Diaz. She will be attending the University of Pennsylvania to study psychology and criminology. And she has chosen Mr. Shane Clampett, who teaches social studies and coaches football here at the high school.
Sidekick. I was scared when I walked into Mr. Clampett's classroom for the first time. I heard from other students how difficult APUSH was and how there was a lot of work. This was one of my first AP classes, and I knew I would need to work harder than ever. I was scared. When the bell rang, Mr. Clampett walked in, and you could feel the vibe change. He took attendance, calling out each name as accurately as he could. He handed out papers from the bins in the front of the classroom. The paper was a Langston Hughes poem. He let us read it, and then he asked questions. No one answered him at first, so he started calling on people. I was really nervous and hoped he wouldn't call me. By coincidence, I got called on, and it took me a second to answer the question. He built on my answer and started talking about the Harlem Renaissance. While he was talking, I could see the passion he held for history. He holds a deep enthusiasm for it, and as the year went on, I could see that he tried to make his students realize their opinions and decisions are deeper than first thought, that the choices they make were also choices people in the past made. His passion and excitement for history made me want to find my own passion for something. I was inspired to discover something that could make me just as excited and passionate as he was about history. As I got to know Mr. Clampett more, I could see he wasn't what people thought. He isn't the stereotypical football coach that teaches a subject that he doesn't care about and knows nothing about. Mr. Clampett actually knows what he's teaching and is dedicated to getting his students to learn U.S. history. He helps students realize APUSH isn't just about memorizing dates and facts for a test, but to learn its consequences and to apply it today. I became Mr. Clampett's TA my junior year, and it was one of my best choices. Because I was his TA, I had to be a football manager. At that time, I was unaware of how difficult it was going to be, and I thought football managing was going to be something minimal. It turns out that every day after school, football was the only thing on my mind. It was time-consuming and a lot of work, but I enjoyed every second. I got to make meaningful connections with people and memories that I will never forget. Every day after practice, Mr. Clampett would round the boys up and have a talk. Sometimes he would scold them, others he would hype them up. Always, he would say that they are a family, and that no matter what, he would always be proud of them, and they would work harder. I admired how positive Mr. Clampett was every single day when many people lost hope in the football team. With how busy he was in the fall, he was always optimistic and always had hope. Those are qualities I want to have and that I really admire. He is an inspiration to me to become better and to grow as a person. He has become a father figure for me, and I will always be grateful for all the time we had together and will continue to have in the future. Thank you, Mr. Clampett, for everything you've done for me, for all the advice and support you've given me these past 3 years, for all the memories we've shared, and for making such a big impact on me.
I can't tell you how much Stephanie means to me. You know, I've worked with a lot of really brilliant people, and there's 10 of them in this room, and 10 educators who are much better and much smarter than me. But I've never seen someone as brilliant and as good a person as you are. And that's a credit to her parents, who did a fantastic job raising her. And looking at Stephanie the last 2 years and having a daughter made me think about what I want my daughter to be like. And I hope she's smart like you. But most importantly, I hope she's as good a person as you are. I hope she smiles as much as you do. I hope she has the connection with my family like you have with yours. And I think the world of you. I'm so glad that you became my TA and a football manager. I'm so glad I've got to know you. And I'm excited for you and what you're going to become in the future. And I'm proud of everyone here tonight, but especially you. And I can't wait to see where you go in the future. Congratulations.
I'm going to go off script just a little bit here and draw everybody's attention to our sign over here on the wall that recognizes some of the accomplishments that Speedway High School has pulled together recently. And that's 100% true. We are the #1 high school in Indiana. It's because of the staff that you've seen here today and our students and what they do together. Abby is right. Most people like to talk about themselves. It is really hard for me between each presentation not to get up and tell at least one little story about each of these teachers, about each of these students, because they're all absolutely exceptional, and they're the reason, they're all #1. They're the reason this is the best high school in Indiana. So thank you all for that. As we conclude this celebration of excellence, we contemplate the quiet, transformative power of influence, that spark of inspiration that ignites curiosity, resilience, and purpose. May the gratitude expressed here ripple outward, reminding us that behind every remarkable student stands an educator who enkindled possibility into action. Let us carry that flame forward, casting light on paths yet unimagined.